This podcast is proudly supported by Netflix presenting Maestro. Nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actor Bradley Cooper, Best Actress Carey Mulligan, and Makeup and Hairstyling. Time magazine calls the film superb and deeply felt. Awards Daily declares that Cooper gives the performance of a lifetime as he completely transforms into legendary conductor-composer Leonard Bernstein, with expert makeup design in what Variety calls an undeniable achievement by 2-time Oscar-winning makeup designer Kazuhiro. Maestro, available on Netflix.
From Variety, celebrating more than 118 years covering the business of entertainment, this is the Award Circuit Podcast. Oscar-nominated American fiction star Jeffrey Wright still marvels at the power of film.
We have the opportunity through this work to take even the most difficult experiences that we have and begin to process them, to begin to create meaning out of them and use them in constructive ways. And ideally, if we do, we can provide, at least within the confines of the film for a couple of hours, maybe a little comfort, relief, validation to someone else who has gone through something similar.
I'm Michael Schneider, and on this episode of the award-winning Variety Award Circuit Podcast, we talk to American fiction star Jeffrey Wright about his Oscar nomination. Also on this episode, the Roundtable gives its picks for this weekend's SAG Awards. It's all next on this edition of the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. Stay close. Hey everyone, guess what? It's still Oscar season. It's still Oscar season.
But you know what it's not? It's not TCAs anymore.
That's funny.
Just as long as Oscar season.
It's still Oscar season. Hi, Variety TV editor Michael Schneider in the house with Clayton Davis and Jazz Tanke. What's up?
But they're listening to this, and final Oscar voting is officially open. So that means it's ending.
This is, and we've got, I guess, a few more hints at where things are going. So the BAFTAs. What did we learn at the BAFTAs?
What did we learn at the BAFTAs? Well, actually, should we go
back?
The funniest thing that we learned at the BAFTAs is that they are their worst enemy. I don't know why they won't just put a cohesive time to a show that people can watch live. They had a 2-hour delayed show. Like they happened in the room. We were live tweeting the show. And then 2 hours later, it aired. And I don't know. And that was in the UK. Not even like the America thing gets me mad, but like in the UK, it was 2 hours delayed.
But it's always been 2 hours. It's always been delayed by 2 hours, just historically, right? But back then, we didn't have social media. So nobody was live tweeting. You wouldn't know until the ceremony. But in this day and age, and this is such an old argument now, but like, by the time they announce Best Picture, you're literally starting the ceremony, and we know, or they were like at Best. I think they were like actor or something. You're like, wait, I need to find Twitter and find
just,
like
they just don't want people to watch their show, and that's it. So that's just been the annoying thing. So,
but what is the real reason? Why don't?
I don't.
Do we not know that?
Ask the British girl on this call. I don't even know. She
I
needs
don't
to
know.
Call your family up.
Yeah.
Can I just say, by the way, I've been
get Parliament on this? Can we?
Yeah, this is definitely a Parliament issue.
Or Funkadelic.
Complete side note. I've been watching The Traitors UK. I just finished the first season, and I've been hearing a lot of British accents lately, and that now it's incredible. But that's a complete side note. Well, we did learn Oppenheimer's going to win Best Picture. If you didn't know that already, it's like totally going to win by a lot. But the cool things that we learned were. We are still in the death match of a Best Actor race between Paul Giamatti and Cillian Murphy. Cillian won BAFTA. No surprise there. First Irishman to win BAFTA, lead actor.
Crazy stat.
Which is a little surprising, when I thought about it.
Yeah.
Emma Stone won Best Actress, but Lily Gladstone was not nominated there. So what that does for those two races puts all eyes on SAG, which are this Saturday. And it's essentially both Paul and Lily's last stands, like for the season. If they lose there to those two people, then just wrap it up. That's our Oscar winners, and that's good. Robert Downey Jr., Dave Vine, they're good and ready to go. American Fiction, the greatest news of the day. It won adapted screenplay, and it was its only nomination. And the Brits gave it to American Fiction. Yeah. Now with CCA in its pocket, it's going to win the Scripter. I think it's going to win the Oscar. And that's a great world to live in. I just never thought they would be cool enough to do it.
I was surprised, but pleasantly surprised.
Oh,
given
I was so happy.
Everything that it was up against. Yeah. And so for Cord to win was an amazing moment. And yeah, bring on Oscars.
We're also in a 50-50 match between Boy and the Heron and Spider-Man, because Boy and the Heron won BAFTA. And Poor Things did really well because it won production design, costumes, actress, as I said before. It upset in makeup against Maestro, and it won visual effects, and it's not even nominated at the Oscars. So Poor Things is either going to have a really great Oscar day or red herring, and it doesn't mean anything. But the makeup win, and Jazz, you and I were speaking separately about that. I felt like there was something in the air about maybe Maestro could lose makeup in the end, because it seemed preordained for that all season. But the fact that it lost to Poor Things is kind of like, oh damn, like it totally could lose in the end.
It's interesting because at the Makeup Awards, obviously Kazu and Maestro won.
Yeah.
Saltburn also won, which was not nominated, and so did Barbie, which is also not nominated. But then you go to BAFTA the next day, and it's like, Poor Things. Could that impact and have an upset? Definitely VFX was interesting for sure.
Oh, VFX, no one knows what's going to win visual effects now on Oscar day. We no idea, because everything that wins isn't nominated, and we're just kind of hanging out now. So I mean, I think I'm going down with the Godzilla -1 ship. It's a good ship. I like it.
Good ship. It's a good ship.
Yeah, have you made any recent changes to your predictions? Any big moves?
So the time that you're hearing this, yes, because I will make the changes when it ties to the opening of Oscar voting. I'm going to go with American Fiction adapted screenplay. So I think Barbie, looking at it right now, is going to mimic A Star Is Born and just win song. I think Poor Things wins production design and costumes. At this moment right now, I think I'm going to go with Poor Things and makeup. I don't think I'm going to bite on the Zone of Interest winning sound. Even though that also great win, it would be so deserved. It's hard for me to believe, if you're going Oppenheimer in so many categories, and sound being one of the most prominent ones, that is why it succeeds, that you're nah, I'm good. I'm gonna overlook it there. And by the way, either one of them great winners. It's just that's gonna be kind of the flip coin. But no other changes outside of that. And then voting for 5 days only. It's just a short.
It's crazy. It's a short window. It's a very short window.
Because Emmys is what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, Emmys is longer.
Yeah.
And then and then SAG voting is a couple of weeks.
Oh, SAG voting, that's been open for 7 weeks, and it closes Friday. We're talking, it's still open, and it's going to be open till the day before the ceremony.
Yeah, which I always wonder, wow, how do they tally it so fast?
I mean, it's digital. You should be able to you could do it 10 minutes before the ceremony. You should be able to walk in and still cast your vote real fast.
Whilst it's in the red carpet.
I know, and then they just print it out. No, but SAG is very long, and then WGA nominations, which we're talking before they're out, come out tomorrow. But they're not going to matter because it's just the nominations, not the actual winners. Winners happen in April, closer to the Emmys. Keeping us busy.
What a wild year!
It's a wild year. But just looking, last thing about just the season and the race. BAFTA, and what I always want to stress here, BAFTA, you always have to ask BAFTA the right questions to get the answer that you're looking for. People will say BAFTA winners, okay, that means that's going to win the Oscar. And I don't think that's it. I think you look at BAFTA and you say, okay, BAFTA is telling me what the international vote of the Academy is. And I think because BAFTA skews older, rather, now I know where the older demographic of the Academy has their heads. Because last year, Everything Everywhere All at Once only won BAFTA for editing. That was it.
Yeah.
They shit the bed everywhere else. So I'm looking at that. I'm like, okay, I know the international vote is on board with Poor Things because that's natural. But what was surprising is, international vote's on board with American Fiction. And I didn't think they would be.
Yeah.
Shown by one nomination. So I think you just have to keep asking it.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting with the whole Barbie thing not landing at BAFTAs. And I think it goes back to just something. It's interesting because I was speaking to the production designer, Sarah Greenwood and Katie Spencer, and they're like, we just didn't grow up with Barbie. So I don't know if there's that little thing of like, well, the international voters don't really know Barbie. Yeah. But then it's like with the film itself, it's so great.
But also, but to that point is that I didn't think Barbie was an international vote either, proven by winning no BAFTAs. So I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised that they went with American Fiction, which didn't look like it would be an international play. And then obviously it's done well over there. So that's where we are now. So then now at SAG, what becomes exciting about SAG, we're going to get what I believe to be a pure American vote. We're going to see what the Americans like. That's why I think Giamatti, that's why it's kind of home field advantage. I think he's like, SAG likes the people that are like, I love that dude. He's one of me. He's a working actor. He tried for years to make it. He's also been in every movie that I've ever loved in my life. So that's why he does well. And Lily Gladstone is that, working actor that's, been at this, and she finally getting her moment in a Martin Scorsese movie. But they also can look at a vet like Annette Bening and go, I've loved you my whole life, so I'm gonna throw you a bone, whatever the case may be.
Can I just say I loved your cover with Paul Giamatti. So if people haven't read it, please go and read it. I loved that Lily Gladstone played his mother-in-law in Billions. That to me was so wild.
Everything comes full circle.
It all comes full circle. I want to go back to something real quick. Jazz, I didn't realize that Barbie was not a thing in the UK. Is it just a case of they sold Barbie dolls, but just kids didn't play with them in the UK? Or what's the backstory there?
They sold Barbie dolls, but we had Cindy, who was a brunette doll version of Barbie, and that was the bigger thing. We all had Cindy dolls. We did not have,
and I don't know what Cindy is.
Yeah, exactly. She was a brunette, and
was Cindy related to Barbie, like a cousin? Or?
No relation at all. Just the British version of Barbie. You can Google her. It's Cindy with an S.
Jazz, do you remember? Let's see if this made it to the UK. When I was 5. 4. When I was 4, Child's Play came out, Chucky, the first Chucky movie. And there was a doll during that time that was very popular called My Buddy that went out of business the minute Child's Play came out in theaters. Did you have My Buddy in the UK?
I don't think we did.
Mike, do you remember My Buddy?
Because you can't forget that theme song.
Yeah, My Buddy, my buddy.
Wherever I go,
he goes.
My buddy and me, we like to climb up a tree. And it went on.
Yeah.
And then
he went out of business.
Remember? Yeah, no.
There was Kid Sister.
Kid Sister, yes. Yeah. The entire line, Chucky came out and it put it out of business. No one wanted to buy it.
It was for lonely kids who didn't have any friends. It was the saddest doll. And
then they said, we can't give this doll to these kids because it's going to come alive. It's going to take your soul. And then it was over.
Yeah. Very much like Teddy Ruxpin, which was...
We had Teddy Ruxpin.
No, yeah, I
I'll
think
tell you what's
that
happening,
felt
yeah.
global. Actually, can we take just one little peek into the future already? Because I saw Dune Part 2 today.
Oh,
Oh, so did
right.
I. Well,
I'm
not today.
so like I triple double dog the Academy to snub Denis Villeneuve again.
Oh
I
my
dare
God.
you. I dare you to try because did you see the first Dune, Mike?
I did. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
So I really like the first Dune, right? I think it's like 85% like really great. And then I think the last like 15, 20 minutes is kind of like, oh, you kind of don't know where to end this because there's going to be more movies. This is Empire Strikes Back level good of like
Yes.
elevation. It's like two towers of
Wow.
a trilogy. It's 2 hours and 46 minutes, and you know I don't like
Nope.
a
Nope.
lengthy movie.
I like that. No.
Nope, but it like it flies pretty quickly. Like there's a little bit of a lull that happens for like a 10-minute spurt and then it picks up again. That movie is is wonderful. It's
It's
phenomenal.
it's one of his best films ever. It is
Yeah.
also, to your point, like one of the best sequels
Hmm.
ever. And I
Yeah.
will say that. Like I believe that. Like it is Empire Strikes Back. It is
Yeah.
like it's so good, and I just can't. It's gonna be, hopefully, like it should, like it's set the bar for the Oscar race next year
Yeah, for
already.
sure. Yeah,
As far as like,
I think it's his second best movie behind Arrival. Like it is totally incredible. It's an incredible feat. Um, Austin Butler isn't doing Elvis voice, just for everyone who wants to know. No Elvis voice.
Yep.
Zendaya's in more than 12 minutes of the movie now, and it really does kick butt. I I was actually very worried about seeing it because I was like 246. What are you doing to me, man? And
Well, the first one was,
perfect.
how long was the first one? It was,
220, like 215, something
Yeah.
like that. It
so
wasn't
too
that
long.
long.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like 220 or something like that. But I felt a little bit of the length towards the end. This I really didn't. It was cooking.
And it's emotional too. Like he really goes into the emotional part,
Yeah.
like aspects of the storytelling
There's
for this.
actually there is a moment, Mike, and I want to know like if you've had this in your earlier part of the career. There happens in a moment where Chalamet, Zendaya, Austin Butler, and Florence Pugh are finally in like the same frame,
Uh-huh.
and I just became so hyper aware of like the future of Hollywood is like sitting like the young, like this is they are helming a franchise at
Yeah.
like 12 years old. Then they're not 12, they're 25. But I was
But
just like, damn, this is the future of Hollywood, like sitting right
Mhm.
here. And I was like Chalamet, I was looking at him, I was like, you little Leonardo DiCaprio. Like this is like it.
Yeah.
Like this is like the future of cinema. And I'm like, I'm okay with this. I feel like we're in good hands.
yeah, that reminds me of whenever I see the young staffers of Variety
Oh,
congregate.
yeah, that's
Um,
true.
you realize, oh, this is the future. I'm a
Yeah.
dinosaur. This is the new
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah. I didn't want to apply it to real life, but yes, that is true. That's exactly what it is.
Um,
Mike just took it to the next
Yeah,
level.
no,
I
it's
did.
true
I did.
though.
I made
Yeah,
it
you do.
personal. I made
No,
it
yeah,
personal.
you do see a lot like you're like, oh, I'm gonna work for you one day. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
leapfrog and you're gonna run something and it's gonna be like awesome, but it's like it does give you that kind of feeling. And I haven't felt that on TV as much yet. I felt like I did for a little while during Modern Family when I thought like that kind of decade run of TV was doing it. But now I feel like we're kind of there again, maybe with like Quinta and Abbott, and just like, okay, like I'd be interested to see what Quinta's next gig is after
Mm.
Abbott is
Well, I
over.
think you bring up an interesting point, not to kind of segue into that, but I think with TV, especially because TV is so into reboots and we're still in the IP era, that's actually benefited older artists, older performers who
Hmm.
come back and recreate the roles that they did in their youth, but
Sure.
they're valuable now because they're the sort of keeping these franchises going. So,
Yeah.
TCA was just there like, a week ago, and think about John Larroquette still there for the new rendition of Night Court, and
Yeah.
all of these reboots. It's relies much on these stars coming back and still being relevant, which you're not seeing as much in film, but you are still seeing it in film too.
Yeah. And that actually is interesting that they're like And I even think even beyond them, like what's going to be the next Chuck Lorre, Dick Wolf, like who? Like, I don't know if we have like I don't know, like the next in line person in those realms, but like someone's going to be running TV, right?
Well,
Like,
that's where you'll see. I mean, obviously, Issa Rae is kind
yeah,
of
Yeah.
way. There are certain creators who, once they get a couple of shows under their belts, Quinta may end up being that too. It's too soon
yeah, for sure.
has one show under her belt, but some of these folks could very well be starting their own dynasties, and so that'll be interesting to see. But
Yeah.
but
I'm trying to think of what else. SAG this weekend. Mike, the end of Succession. Enjoy.
exactly.
PGA this weekend
And then
too, right?
PGA and the Indie Spirits. I'm gonna go to Indie Spirits. I'm not going to PGA. I'm gonna go to the beach. Go hang out in the sand. There's so much sand in Dune, Mike. I want to know the sand budget on that movie. The sand budget must be $2 jillion.
And
Spice.
it's all real sand.
It's spice.
All real.
It's spice. But did you read Dune, by the way,
No.
Mike? Okay, I didn't either. I need a nerd. I need a real Dune nerd. I need to. Here's my piece of advice: well, rewatch the first one again because I forgot like some stuff.
I was going to ask, like, because
Yeah, you do.
in my old age, I can't remember
Yes.
anything.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
I could not remember who Dave Bautista was like for a good amount of that movie. I was like, I know you were in the first one, and I kind of remember you had something to do with something. And then, yeah, I don't like the names of people and the families, like it all, like I know Atreides, and that's kind of it.
Yes, definitely watch the first one. Mike, have you seen any movies since
Yeah.
PCA?
What movie have you watched?
No, it was TCA time, so I was busy with that. But why don't
No, I'm not
why
watching
don't-
pesky television.
since we do have SAG, why don't we go through the categories real quick and
Yeah.
give our picks? We'll start with film, then we'll go to TV.
Yeah.
Some of these we pretty much know, but for film ensemble, you got Oppenheimer, Barbie, American Fiction, Killers, The Color Purple.
I'm going Barbie. I think Barbie. Yeah, I don't think that's going to mean anything. Let me just preface that. I don't think it means anything to the Oscar rating. I don't think that means it's going to upset. I just feel like it's a very populous group. It's like 20,000 people, right? No, yeah, right,
Yeah.
20,000. Yeah, like 20,000 people. I think.
Wait. You're talking about
SAG.
SAG is like 120,000.
120,000. Yeah, sorry. Yes. Yeah. Oh, then even more so. I just think it leans populist. I think it's Barbie.
Jazz?
I'm going to go with Oppenheimer.
Good. Please do so.
I think I just have to go with that.
You can take it. Good.
Okay, film actress. We got Lily Gladstone, Emma Stone, Margot Robbie, Carey Mulligan, Annette Bening.
Going down with the ship on Lily Gladstone. If it is a sinking ship. If not, then if she wins SAG, I think she pulls it off. So I'm going with Lily.
Jazz?
Same. Lily Gladstone ship on it.
Film actor. We were talking about this earlier. We got Killian, we got Paul Giamatti, Bradley Cooper, Jeffrey Wright, and Coleman Domingo.
I think it's Giamatti. And I do need to say this because I don't think people are talking about this enough. Watch out for Jeffrey Wright. I'm just saying. Watch out for Jeffrey, who was our podcast guest this week. And that, no pun, like, this isn't because of that. But I think that group, again, loves to reward the working actor. And I think, especially we love American Fiction, and I do think it's a possible ensemble winner too. It's like third, but I still think it's possible. I think Jeffrey Wright could pull a very interesting upset, which would make that race really deeply uncomfortable and unpredictable.
That'd be an interesting shocker. I think I'm going to go down with the Paul Giamatti ship too. I think he's just loved.
Yeah.
He's just so loved.
I mean, we've joked about the in and out moment, but I think that sealed the deal for him.
Yeah, for sure.
And probably for the Oscar as well.
Yep.
Supporting actress, Davine, Joy Randolph, Emily Blunt, Danielle Brooks, Jodie Foster, Penelope Cruz. Got to be
Enjoy the ride, Davine. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Davine, all the way to Oscar.
Every day.
Supporting actor, we got RDJ, Robert Downey Jr., we got Ryan Gosling, Robert De Niro, Sterling K. Brown, and Willem Dafoe.
RDJ is a lock with a small L, though. I am prepared for Ryan Gosling, but I don't think it's going to be Ryan Gosling.
Mm. How about you, Jazz? What are you thinking?
RDJ.
You down with RDJ? Yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
you know me.
RDJ.
Okay, let's go to TV. Drama ensemble. I mean, this is an easy one. Oh, I think I'm being paged. Hello?
Aged.
Security.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm in the building right now, and apparently the president is in a caravan that's driving right by on Santa Monica Boulevard. So
Oh, is he?
Oh.
Oh,
they've locked the doors. It's stayed inside.
you're not allowed.
Not allowed out.
And it's raining. How inconvenient.
I now live at the PMC building.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
It's such an appropriate segue into Succession's going to win. Drama ensemble.
So, Succession versus Last of Us, Morning Show, The Crown, and The Gilded Age. I mean, Succession all day.
Yeah.
Succession.
So, comedy, we got The Bear, Ted Lasso, Abbott Elementary, Only Murders in the Building, and Barry. Feels like The Bear, right?
Yeah, it feels like The Bear, but comedies, that gets interesting sometimes. They like bigger casts. Did Bear win that last year? No. Or yes? I don't remember. I think it did.
And this is for season 2.
This is for season 2. Yes. I think The Bear, I think it's The Bear. I think watch out for like something else, but I don't even know what that would
Abbott being back on TV during voting, it could have that impact.
It just came back, and I think it's been a long time.
By the way, how soon we forget Abbott Elementary won the comedy last year?
Yes, I thought The Bear lost last year, so I think Abbott could win again. But I'm gonna go with The Bear because I think people love season 2.
Yeah, it just seems to be on a tear right now.
Yeah,
on a tear.
Go FX.
All right. Okay, so in the acting, drama actor, we got Kieran Culkin, Pedro Pascal, Matthew McFadden, Billy Crudup, and Brian Cox.
Actually, that's a hard category. That like I'm telling you, I think it's Kieran or Pedro, and I'm gonna go with Kieran.
Yeah,
but I think Pedro could totally do it.
Well, especially again, if and we've had this debate. We had it last week about do you split votes or not? Is it Kieran, Matthew, and Brian split it possibly, and that brings it to Pedro. But Kieran again is on a he's on a tear right now.
Yeah,
Kieran. I think Kieran takes it, but look out for Pedro.
Drama. I think this is easier because Sarah Snook is the only
Snook. Sarah Snook.
Elizabeth Debicki, Bella Ramsey, Jennifer Aniston, Kerry Russell, Sarah Snook.
I think it's Sarah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if not Sarah, Bella.
Yeah, but it's Sarah. Okay, comedy actor. We got Jeremy Allen White, Jason Sudeikis, Bill Hader, Eben Moss-Bachrach, and Brett Goldstein. I mean,
Jeremy Allen Black.
Jeremy.
My favorite joke so far this season.
Abbott, yeah.
My favorite joke.
Best line.
Abbott's killing it, man.
Abbott is fantastic.
Such a great.
A real comedy.
Yeah, real comedy. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So on comedy actress, we got Ayo Edebiri, we got Hannah Waddingham, we got Quinta Brunson, we got Rachel Brosnahan, and we got Alex Borstein. I think this is a little tougher.
That is totally tough. I'm going Ayo, but I don't like it. Like, not because I love Ayo. I think oh God, I can't wait for her to get nominated for guest comedy for SNL this year. But
we all love Ayo, but I also could see this being the one thing Ted Lasso gets with Hannah, or Quinta could always come in.
You know what? I can see them giving a bye-bye, thanks for everything, Rachel Brosnahan.
Oh,
that's true too.
I'm telling you, this is the group that sometimes they do bigger names, but they do the vets, and I would look at last year, man. Sam Elliott won for 1883 for no reason whatsoever, and they could just go elsewhere. So I'm gonna go with Ayo, but I think watch out for something else.
No, this is true. What do you think of Jazz?
Ayo.
Last year Jean Smart won, but of course she's not eligible this year.
Yeah.
So it keeps it wide open. Limited, we got Stephen Yeun for Beef. We got John Hamm for Fargo, Matt Bomer for Fellow Travelers, Tony Shalhoub for Mr. Monk's Last Case, and David Oyelowo for Lawman Bass Reeves.
Thanks, Yun. You're gonna say bye-bye to beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
The
one.
beef streak continues.
Yeah. Unless there's that weird thing where Tony Shalhoub seems to win everything that he's ever nominated for.
He's always been someone that just like a magnet for awards. So I would definitely watch out for him.
Yeah. Okay, in limited movie actress, we got Ali Wong, we got Brie Larson, Kathryn Hahn, Uzo Aduba, and Belle Powley.
I think it's Ali.
Yeah.
I'd say watch out for who's the third one you said?
Kathryn Hahn.
I feel like she could do it in the Sam Elliott, Jessica Chastain, George and Tammy way.
Yeah, she's an actor's actor.
Yeah. They know her, they love her. I think she's 2.
Yeah. So, Jazz?
Ali, and I have Brie in number 2. People like Lessons in Chemistry.
This is true, and people like Brie Larson too.
Brie, yep.
That's there could be some surprises on Saturday.
Yep. And you weren't. I think you were perfect last year, prediction wise on TV, weren't you? Or was that the year before?
Yeah, it may have been last year. I don't remember. But yeah, it was perfect one recently.
I want to be like Mike when I grow up. I have perfect prediction day.
So we shall see. All right, so that is on Saturday on Netflix of all places.
Streaming live.
Let's see how it goes. Hopefully they've ironed out any of the kinks in the system. So good luck to our friends at Netflix. So Clayton, what we got this week?
This week we have Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction, closing us out for the film season.
So good. All right. Well,
love it.
We will recap SAG next week. Until then, peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
Cheerio.
After the break, we talk to Oscar-nominated American fiction star Jeffrey Wright. From Los Angeles, this is the Award Circuit Podcast.
This podcast is proudly supported by Netflix, presenting the extraordinary film from director J.A. Bayona, Society of the Snow. Nominated for 2 Academy Awards, including Best International Feature, Society of the Snow tells the inspiring true story of the Uruguayan rugby team that endured 72 days stranded in the Andes Mountains following a plane crash, and the humanity that prevailed. The playlist calls it a deeply felt portrait of togetherness, brotherhood, and survival. Awards Daily proclaims it to be a masterful piece of cinema. Society of the Snow, available on Netflix.
And we're back. It's the Variety Award Circuit Podcast, and I'm Michael Schneider. Based on the novel Erasure by Percival Everett, the film American Fiction stars Jeffrey Wright as author Thelonious Monk Ellison, a frustrated novelist who is fed up with the establishment profiting from so-called black entertainment that relies on tired and offensive tropes. To prove his point, Monk writes an outlandish black book that propels him to the heart of hypocrisy and madness.
Excuse me, Ned, do you have any books by the writer Thelonious Ellison?
Yeah, this way. Here you go.
Right. Yeah. Wait a minute. Why are these books here?
I'm not sure. I would imagine that this author, Ellison, is black.
That's me. Ellison.
Yeah.
He is me, and he and I are black.
Oh, bingo.
No bingo, Ned. These books have nothing to do with African American studies. They're just literature. The blackest thing about this one is the ink.
I don't decide what sections the books go in, and no one here does. That's how chain stores work.
Right. Ned, you don't make the rules.
I'm just gonna put them back after you leave.
Don't you dare, Ned. Do not you dare.
The film also stars Emmy nominee Tracy Ellis Ross, John Ortiz, Adam Brody, Issa Rae, Sterling K. Brown, Erica Alexander, and Leslie Uggams. Wright has been among the most respected actors for decades. He won a Tony Award for his role as Belize in Tony Kushner's masterpiece Angels in America. He reprised the same role for the HBO miniseries adaptation, adding an Emmy Award to his mantle. He's also picked up additional Emmy noms for HBO's Westworld and Disney's What If. In addition to American Fiction, he can currently be seen in Coleman Domingo's Rustin as Congressman Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Variety's Clayton Davis recently met up with Wright, and he began by asking about how it felt to be an Oscar nominee.
It's cool. It's wonderful in that this is acknowledgement from our peers. I have had the opportunity over the last, several months, really, of getting our film out there to speak with people who have expressed appreciation for the film and for my work and my previous work, actors that I have never met, but whom I have admired, or actors that I worked with some time ago but hadn't seen, or actors whom I'd never met before, coming around and saying, you guys did very well here. They're also really excited about this movie. Talked to a lot of people who are excited about the issues that we're dealing with in this film and the way we're dealing with them. Yeah. We're touching on conversations that are being had around the country, really. Conversations that aren't necessarily being had well, but conversations that are forefront in the national discourse right now. So people are really appreciative of this film on multiple levels. It's cool. There's a difference, though, and the reason I think that I'm here and in this position, and that's because we've had incredible support, incredible backing from Orion, Amazon, MGM. They've invested time, energy, resources in making sure that our film finds an audience, not only an audience out in theaters, but an audience among the Academy. And that's made the difference. I've done work before that was good. I've done work in which, people like yourself expressed, thoughts that were buzzy. But I've never had this level of support behind a project that I was so central to, from the powers that be, from, the business side of our industry. I've never had it until now. So I'm really grateful for that. And, at the same time, it is what it is. I don't have any complaints about my career. I've done work that I think is interesting, at least to me. I've done work that was successful, commercially and critically. I've done work that I'm really proud of throughout my career. And I did that work largely because, although I never had that kind of support from, the executive suites, from the studios necessarily, but I've always had support from creative people in the industry, always directors from the very beginning of my career, always directors who took an interest, who said, maybe I'd like to work with this guy. Yeah. And then maybe I'd like to work with this guy again. So I've always been really cautious about who I'm indebted to. I don't mind, owing a lot of stuff, owing, stones along the way in my career to people like George Wolfe, people like Sidney Lumet, Ang Lee. Lately Wes Anderson, developed a really wonderful relationship with him. Creative people were always the ones who said, Jeffrey, come work. Come, read this. So, it is as it is. We're here now. I'm so pleased that the film has been recognized across the board in the way that it has. Small movie, 26 days filming. Our budget was probably the catering budget for the last Bond movie I did, punching above our weight, but telling a really big story filled with some ideas that are on a lot of people's kitchen tables right now. Yeah. So, it's all good.
It's awesome.
So listen, I'm on record of saying this. American Fiction was my favorite film of the year, my number one film of the year. I got a lot of flack for it, from people who always want that nice Clayton Davis endorsement that does nothing for some people. But no, I'm telling you, man, when I first saw it, I saw it in Toronto. All you actors were vacationing during the time, right? But no, I saw it, and at that point in time, I remember walking in. The only thing I had heard, like through the, I get some early buzz stuff, and I heard Jeffrey's really good in this. That's all. That's all. I walked into it. No, and I was like, all right, Jeffrey Wright's good in something. I was like, he's always good in stuff. So I was like, okay. And I sat there and was like in utter disbelief, and I was like, first time filmmaker, what? Like, I think Cord lied about that, among other things. With the great Sterling K. Brown doing some amazing work.
Yep.
Reminded the world of Living Single and Eric Alexander and Tracy Ellis Ross. It was just front to back everything I asked Hollywood to do for underrepresented stories. Like, we are a lot of things, like your character says, but we're not one thing. And it was great to see that. The response, you alluded to this, has been pretty enthusiastic from the studio side and audiences. What have you found the most surprising along the way on the journey so far from the responses?
You can't anticipate everything. I'm really pleased, like pleasantly surprised at the range of people who have an appreciation for our film. I had my suspicions that we would provide an opportunity for people really across the board to come inside and sit with us. I had my suspicions that people across political aisles would find something to tie themselves to within our story. It was in some ways a concern, but I'm really pleasantly surprised that it seems we've kind of, we've created a space for people really across the country to walk in and not only find themselves room inside the conversation around the issues, but, and this was maybe more predictable, but find themselves inside this family story. That's really the subversive element of the film, I think, is yes, you've got the satire and the social commentary and the kind of absurdity and the tropes and the stereotypes that Monk is facing on one side. And then you have this response, really, which is this family that's just ordinary in its weirdness, like everybody's family. And it's, it's a mess, but it's loving and it's inescapable and it's going through crisis, and there's a guy at the center trying to hold it together. And that strikes a chord with people because everybody who's born of a family can find themselves inside this one. They find something that they relate to, and it just opens the door up, in a wonderful way. And when you layer on top of that the humor that we were able to find and the irony, it's just a rare recipe for a film that appeals in a good way on tricky subjects and serious topics, kind of deep, but can appeal to a broad broad range of people. It's just wonderful. It's just a really special it's a special recipe, and it's a film that I'm really proud of, and so I'm pleasantly surprised by some things. But a lot of it, we knew we were onto something pretty cool when we were making it. We had an idea. You never know. You could make something wonderful, and two people come to see it. So I'm glad it's got this growing momentum. It's done well at the box office. We made this movie for only a few of these cups of coffee that we're drinking here. So we made back our budget and then some, and then some, multiple times. I am surprised at this phase of it. and didn't anticipate this. You know, you never really want to think about the awards and all that stuff, particularly while you're working. I guess you go, if they're handing them out, why not us? But man, this has been a really incredible process. The most surprising thing has been how self-reflective this whole experience has been, and how much I'm really having to think about in terms of the nature of the film, the nature of my relationship to the film, nature of my relationship to this character, what it implies. I'm really glad that the character undergoes like a kind of transformation during the course of the movie, and that there's a hopefulness, and that he's a different person at the end of the process, at the end of the film. So that gives me some hope, but I've been thinking a lot.
a lot of self-reflection.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Listen, that's amazing, and we're talking. It's one day after the Academy luncheon. Most important question: did you play with the dog?
I did not.
You did not.
No.
You avoided the dog.
I didn't avoid the dog. I didn't ever get a chance to see him. Yeah, I saw him after. I was like, oh wow. I actually haven't seen that film yet.
Enemy of a Fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, some really good
Did
stuff.
you see it at Cannes?
No, I didn't. Actually, I saw it afterward. I missed it at Cannes.
Okay.
But I said this publicly also. I've said this to a lot of people. This slate of 10 Best Pictures, I'm not even blowing smoke. I think the best lineup of Best Picture nominees since 1997. Like, I think there's not. They're all bangers. They're like I really all like have something to say. It's like such a great lineup.
Yeah,
just a strong year for movies. Yeah. 2 non-English language movies or 3 non-English language movies. You have you have the most comedies that have ever been nominated in a lineup with 4. You have Cord Jefferson walking in, and then you have Sterling K. Brown. Let's go to the hard-hitting question on Sterling K. Brown, because he's an issue. He's a problem. He really is a problem. I've seen him bully you during Q&As and stuff like that.
He tries.
I'm here to let you know I see you.
He tries.
And I was talking to Paul Giamatti actually about Sterling. I love when I hear other actors talk about other actors that they're not in their movie. And he was like, I've never seen him do anything like that before. And on paper, I would never have chucked him into that role.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad Cord saw that. What has been your experience with him, and what should we do about him in this industry to get rid of him once and for all?
Well, if you've seen any of the Q&As, you get a sense of what Cord sensed in casting him as the younger brother, who's a bit, befuddled in his existence, but full of energy. And no, it's been good fun. We are a group of people who gathered around this film because we all felt equally passionate about the story that we were telling. And, Sterling came in, as he said, he wasn't planning on working during that period, but he read the script and wanted to be there. And we just, there's just a perfect, for our film, mix of people. Tracy as my sister, the minute we got together, and, the full 15 minutes that we rehearsed prior to filming, it was just like what you see on camera. It was like she's just so open and so grounded, and again, wanted to be there. And we just vibed. Likewise, Sterling and I in a different way, because there's those characters are kind of butting heads and, annoying to one another. But we vibed as actors, and we just got in there and played. And he's, super smart, and he just wanted to be to do his part in the whole. Yeah. And that is to make a complete mess of things. But then at the end of the day, there's this wonderful, wonderful redemptive quality to their relationship, in which he gifts Monk, my character, with something that along the way, inclusive with these other experiences that he's had with Erica Alexander's character, Coraline, and with Issa Rae's character, Coraline, causes him to process himself look at himself in a productively self-critical way, and leads to, to perhaps a new beginning for him. So yeah, Sterling brings so much to it. Wonderful actor. Yeah. Right. Annoying as hell. Wonderful actor.
But nice nonetheless.
Right?
Yeah. I have to talk to you about something that touched me very deeply. And it was after Oscar nominations, a video that got some pickup on social media. I believe you were speaking to Entertainment Tonight, and you were reflecting on your Oscar nomination. You talked about your mom and talking about anything about your mom, which made me reflect and think. I think about this once in a while, but I think about because I lost my dad 2 years ago. So it was I moved here. I was here for like maybe 6 months, and then and I think about, like, as I have progressed in this industry, I think about sometimes, like, what would he have maybe thought? And we didn't have a great relationship, so it becomes a lot of, like, other reflections as well. But everything kind of operates on its own time, kind of thing. What have you found, I guess, cathartic in this time of, like, you reach, like, this pinnacle and you aim, I don't think you aim for awards, but you aim for the respect of your peers. You're there now, and then, but everything kind of operates on its own clock. What have you found in reflecting on that time?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was when I was doing that interview. It was still very fresh. It was only like minutes after the announcement of the thing, and I was still sitting in my office there,
and it was dark outside.
I was in New York.
Oh, good for you.
And I was, that's the most prominent picture in my office is this one of my mother at the center of other family members, and so yeah, it just like, I hadn't even considered. I knew what I had done, but we had a moment where I just kind of looked over, and I mean, it's probably true for so many people, but. I was raised by my mother and my aunt. My father passed away when I was very young. I have no memory of him. My mother created everything for me. She's the archetype of, the opportunities that were, presented to me in my life. And she would be, she was also my loudest and most energetic unpaid publicist. So yeah, she would be going at it right now. Yeah. But at the same time, making this film for me was a part of the process of rebuilding after the void, was there, that she left. She was the center of our family. As my son, when he saw the movie, he said, I see a lot of myself in that character of yours, but it's also a beautiful homage to Grandma. He got it. I was like, yeah, man. Yeah. So, this, we have the opportunity through this work. It's kind of a gift to take these, even the most difficult experiences that we have, and begin to process them, to begin to create meaning out of them and use them in constructive ways. And ideally, if we do, we can provide, at least within the confines of the film, for a couple of hours, maybe a little comfort, relief, validation to someone else who has gone through something similar. It's a gift. Yeah. And yeah, that's definitely been that for me. So I guess the question could be, what would she do if she were here now? But in some ways, this movie exists because she isn't.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
And, or not, at least not in body,
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. Here we are. I'm super proud of it. And, it does not, like everything else in my life, positive. It does not come about without, what she invested in me.
Yeah.
Which was, her very body and then her very work.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing her
and my condolences to you, because I know, it's a process.
Yeah.
It is a process.
Like the complicated thing called life, where we all go through it, right? But switch tones a little bit. And again, disappointed me that you missed the dog. Who was the most interesting, or what was the highlight of yesterday at the luncheon? Who did you get to meet that you hadn't met before? Or you might have seen a lot of these people on the circuit, but is there anyone that you were like, oh, I love you?
Well, I was sat next to Yorgos Lanthimos. That was cool. That was really cool.
It's so interesting you say that, because literally the other day because I was talking to a buddy of mine and we were talking about you, and he was like, I would never have ever bet that Jeffrey Wright would be in a Wes Anderson movie. And I was like, yeah, me neither. I was like, you know what? What if Yorgos Lanthimos grabbed him? Because if he's going to work with Wes, work with Yorgos. And we love the idea so much. So do we put that into the universe and just chat a little bit?
So you guys are responsible. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
It was all part of the plan.
Yeah. So you guys got the joystick for the simulator.
I just imagine Jeffrey Wright getting able to spew some Tony McNamara dialogue and Yorgos' vision and what crazy stuff he would have you do.
We had a good time talking. We talked about film a little bit and some of his influences, because I see like a lot of Dr. Caligari in Poor Things. He was like, yeah. He was talking about little references coming a little bit later, but it goes back to that to that era of filmmaking, which I really dig. So we talked about that. I talked about Grease a bit. We just chatted, good dude. Sat and, it was a wonderful event yesterday, because it's not competitive,
Yeah. Everyone's still a winner there.
It's so good. Everybody comes home with a win. Well, you got your certificate thing. You look end it there. The Hunger Games aspect of what we do is a little bit weird now, that all of a sudden, we become competitors. But it's been really cool over the course of, these weeks, months, to get to know some folks that I hadn't met before, haven't worked with, who, are in my category. For example, Killian's a lovely guy, Robert, we did Robert Downey Jr., we did a talk together. He's a wonderful guy, man. Wonderful guy. Can't say enough about him. Seeing him about Andrew Scott, wasn't there yesterday. Beautiful performance he gave in All of Us Strangers. Beautiful, fragile, just so vulnerable.
Listen,
so
I say
stunning.
I say this with all the love for you, man, and you were on my personal ballot of the year. Andrew Scott, man, floored.
Yeah.
I saw that I remember I saw it in Telluride, and Sandra Hewler was there.
Yeah.
Because she was on SAG, obviously, with Anatomy of Fall. And I saw her walk out of that theater like her whole world shattered. I can still remember looking at her, I wanted to say hi to her. I was like, she's going through something right now, but I was going through something too.
Yeah.
He's so good in that
Just
movie.
a stunning performance. Yeah. But that's, that's
such is life.
Such are these awards things, It really is not solely about the quality of the work.
Yeah.
There are a whole number of elements that come together, but I just say that to say it's been wonderful getting to meet him and everyone, hanging out with Paul Giamatti and I know each other from Brooklyn. So, just getting to see him and Coleman and it's just been cool, man. It's been cool. And moreover, what I mean is outside of this competitive thing, it's just about people who do interesting work, who are creative, who are, who are down to earth, really good people, which is probably surprising to a lot of people outside the industry. It's been nice. It's been nice. And so, if I had my way, we would end it after that event yesterday.
By the way, the fact that you and Paul live in Brooklyn are the things I like least about you. I'm trying to get you guys to the Bronx.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Bronx guy, so gotta bring it.
Maybe.
My final question for you before my little fast red robin game, and I'm assuming you're going to be able to tell me everything about it and all that good stuff. Batman 2. Beginning, middle, end. Do you want to build me in?
You want to know the beginning and middle and end of.
Just tell me what happens in it. Where does Gordon fit in? And
Here's the beginning,
Okay.
middle, and end laid out for you.
Okay.
I have not read the script. I have not received the script. So everything that you would need to know from me is pretty much right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you in Batman 2? Of your knowledge?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you are.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
haven't seen a script yet.
Yeah. haven't
Okay.
seen a script.
So
Yeah.
okay, that wasn't like a secret. Like I'm not going to be in it. So you're in it. You just have not seen the script yet.
So I'm waiting patiently. But I'll tell you what, Clayton. Here's the deal. As soon as I get it,
You'll call me up
I'll
and-
call you. I'll send a copy right over to you. Yeah.
That exit, be safe about it.
Yeah. And I'm sure if on the off chance that Matt Reeves hears that, his hairs are going to stand up on the back of his neck.
Listen,
no, dude, if you want to talk about like secrecy, man, that thing is on lockdown. When we got scripts, I mean, did we even have? I think I did have a paper version of the script for the first one, and then they wanted to hold on to that after we were finished.
Really?
We would get these like these like old Mission Impossible
messengers,
self-destructing files and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's hardcore, man. Yeah.
Getting spam emails,
We don't play around with that.
Two-step authentication and stuff to get in.
It's like 5-step.
Oh man, awesome! And now I like to always do this rapid fire kind of game tied to things you've worked on. It's an either or, and I always preface it with this so you can feel good, knowing this may not be your real answer. I'm getting you off the cuff, and you have to choose between the two, and it may not. You may think about it later.
But I have to choose one.
But you have to choose one, or it's going to be a straight up like favorite this, and then see what the first thing that came to mind was. Okay. So, obviously you were in Basquiat, which I get, just I have to say this, people always bring it up. They're like, oh, I love Jeffrey Wright. And they bring up that movie. I'm like, where were you in the 90s, man? Because I feel like no one was like, it became like the cool thing to say when they talk about Jeffrey Wright. But I was like, I feel like no one was like banging the drum for your work in that movie.
That's because they pulled it out of the theaters.
I know.
They pulled it out of the theaters when it was doing well. And I don't know, there was some weird internal thing with the producers and Miramax or whatever, but they tossed that movie to the curb, I mean, talk about, the Oscar stuff and getting it out there. They didn't even want audiences to see that movie ultimately.
God. But I love that it's on a second wind, somewhat now.
Oh yeah, man! Yeah. No, it's people love that movie.
Favorite Julian Schnabel movie that's not that one you worked on?
I haven't seen any others.
Oh, you haven't seen Diving Bell and the Butterfly?
Nope.
Really? And I always appreciate people admitting that they haven't seen certain things, because I started here and I told people I've never seen Casablanca. It's kind of my thing.
Whoa!
Don't judge me for it now.
Have you still not seen Casablanca?
No, and it's because it's my thing right now, and I know I can see it. I own it, but I was making a point that we all have cinematic blind spots.
Whoa!
And that's mine.
That is a blind spot. Casablanca is like, you see those mountains we're looking at?
I know.
That's a blind spot, like as wide as those.
And I promise some people when I see them, I'll like record myself watching it. It's gonna be a whole thing.
All right,
all that.
Bogeyman.
But I get it. Favorite Jonathan Demme movie?
Favorite Demme movie? My favorite Jonathan Demme movie. Jeez. Why don't I go, you can't really, with Tony and Jodie Foster.
Silence of the Lambs?
Silence of the Lambs. You can't go wrong with Silence of the Lambs and Ted Levine. Ted Levine. I mean, come on. That's like, yeah.
It's up there.
Yeah.
All right, great stuff. And it's okay.
Although, Philadelphia.
I do love Philadelphia.
It's pretty amazing. He's a lovely man. Jonathan was a lovely man.
I say often, like him, Philip Seymour Hoffman. There's passage of time, and I always say I could use a really good Jonathan Demme movie right now. Like I can imagine him making something so great right now, like a Rachel Getting Married that would just like hit the spot.
He and I were actually working on a project.
Oh, were you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
a film that ultimately got made. a film that no one really has heard about. A film in which the director came in and said, "Yeah, I'd like to see some other actors." And I said, "Okay, dude, go on your way then." But Jonathan and I had a project that we were working on. We were pretty deep into it as well. Damn. Yeah, he was a lovely, lovely guy, a brilliant filmmaker, and he was a real friend and supporter of mine.
Oh, great. The best. Favorite Will Smith performance? We're going Ali.
You know what? I'll have to say Ali.
Well, that's actually the correct answer. Yeah.
Because I was there, and I don't think I have seen an actor work as hard as he worked on that.
Yeah.
It was pretty remarkable. Over the course of many months, and he put a lot of himself into that. I will go with Ali.
Favorite Clooney role?
Favorite Clooney role. I like him in the one with the Coen Brothers one.
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love George. I just love George doing irony.
That's a good one.
I mean, he's just
up there.
He's just so, the kind of twinkle in his eye, like kind of.
That's my number 2 for him. I think Up in the Air and Oh Brother Where Art Thou are like 1, 2. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well done.
I love like kind of smarmy, George. He's a super funny guy.
Favorite Jim Jarmusch?
Favorite Jarmusch. Sorry, I bumped your mic there. Favorite Jarmusch, I would say, maybe with Spike Lee's brother is in it with the blues dude.
Oh, give me a second. I can literally see who you're talking about. Hold on.
Because I borrowed stuff from it in
Only Lovers.
And Only Lovers Left Alive. God damn it, my brain.
We'll find it, but I will.
Hold on. It's
because now my phone is not pulling up the stuff I needed to.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my brain. Hold on. Okay, you're gonna edit. You gotta edit.
Yeah, of course. It's gonna be our thing.
All right.
Down by Law, Mystery Train, Dead Man, Ghost Dog.
No.
Ghost Dog.
People love Ghost Dog.
I do love Coffee and Cigarettes, Stranger Than Paradise.
No. It was.
Flowers.
Oh shit! This is ridiculous. Is it Down by Law?
No, it's gotta be Down by Law. His brother, is Sinky?
Yeah, Sinky.
Sinky Lee is Coffee and Cigarettes.
Coffee and Cigarettes. It's Coffee and Cigarettes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo! We got there.
Sorry. Okay, ask me a question.
Yeah. Favorite Jarmusch movie?
I would go Coffee and Cigarettes.
Coffee and Cigarettes. There you go.
And it's Sinky Lee, and who was and he played with blues guy. He says Chicken Keeps. Man.
It's I still got it up here.
Clayton.
I know. We're just not good at this today.
Man.
Stephen Wright, Joey Lee, Steve Buscemi, Iggy Pop.
Yeah, that's right. And
Jack White, Alfred Molina, Steve Coogan, Taylor Mead, William Rice.
Who is the Rockets' Red Glare is in that. Wow.
Riz is in that.
Rockets was
I've only seen that
was in
once.
Basquiat. He was a friend of Jean-Michel's actually in real life. Oh wait, we're gonna skip that one.
Yeah, we're
I'm gonna butcher
right.
that one.
It's all right. So here's my final question for you.
Yeah.
Because I had a very interesting chat with Rachel McAdams. And I asked her, who do I need to fight? Who do I need to bribe to get a Game Night 2 happening? And she said, she just laughed. She goes, my mom already has it written out in her head.
Oh, wow.
She's like, she knows what it would be. Like, Game Night, when I say that is kind of like when people ask me my favorite Jeffrey Wright roles, like I say what I'm supposed to say, but then there's some times, like I fully admit that I think it's game night.
Oh, that's funny.
Because when you, the way you are in that movie, man, like it's a line that you scream. You're like tells everyone to be quiet right before when the game's starting.
Yeah,
it's incredible. Could we get a game night 2 happening?
Hey, I'd be down.
That script
Plemons so good. Oh. That is so funny. I mean, everyone.
No lie, low key Oscar snub. I'm not even lying. He's incredible.
He's such a wonderful actor. He's such a mysterious, curious actor, and so like where's he going with this? Which is like wonderful. But everyone, Lamorne is fantastic. I mean, the whole. Everyone, and my man,
Jason Bateman.
Jason's, brilliant guy.
And then Kyle Chandler, man. It's unreal.
I was in Bond. Come on, don't leave me hanging. Come on. In Bond. Oh, my brain. I've been talking too much, man. I've been talking too much. Now I'm embarrassing myself.
No, you're not.
No, I'm embarrassed. Billy.
Oh, Billy Magnuson.
Billy Magnuson. Jesus.
Oh my God, yes.
Sorry, Billy.
I feel bad about that.
Sorry, Billy.
Because Billy's very underutilized man in this business.
So funny. But everyone. Yeah, I'd be down.
So you'd be down for it?
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely. Right, but so long as the script, it literally was, as funny as the movie is, the script was.
Like you were just like, yes, I will do this
just
tomorrow.
Yes.
So we can get you back.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So I'm working
more
on that
comedy,
for you.
more laughs, man.
Yeah. Listen, congratulations, sir. It's very well deserved. I'm glad we finally got here, and it won't be the last time. Well, I will see you again here. Maybe for Batman 2 if you ever see the script. Who knows?
Cool. Yeah. But no, we're going to talk about that because as soon as I get the script, you're going to have the script, of course, Clayton.
And then we're all going to have it.
We'll reconvene.
I can't wait for you to get a call from Warner Brothers just being like, just want to make sure
you're
actually going to give it to him, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
We'll reconvene and we'll go, scene by scene. I'll shoot some ideas off you, Clayton.
Mm-hmm.
About how I might go about this, and any notes that you may have.
I will provide. Listen, I'm not even lying. In the last 15 years, one of the biggest Oscar snubs is Michael Giacchino's score on the Batman. Like that,
he wasn't nominated last.
He didn't even make the short list.
Oh my goodness!
It is one of the most egregious snubs. I was very angry with.
I'll tell you. One of the first things that Matt Reeves did on the first one when we met. It was literally the first day. Got to London, we'd gotten together. I'd read the script and talked with him over here. We hadn't really talked that much, beyond that. Got over to London. We started doing a little bit of rehearsal, for a week or so, doing, getting the costume, wardrobe fittings and all that stuff. And the first day, he said, "Listen to this," and he played the theme. And when I heard that, you could hear the entire film.
Yeah.
You understood the tone.
It's a masterpiece.
You understood the mystery. You heard the goth in it. It was so cool. And you know what he told me? He said, I said, how did he record that? So he was recording. Recording with I forget where the orchestra was, and they were working on some other score. And at the end of the session, he handed out the sheet music to them.
Just play this,
and he said, "Play this."
God,
and that was it. They didn't know what they were playing. They might have had an idea after they did. But yeah, that's
what really sucks. I know we're going over, but what really sucks about that is that this year, Middleburg Film Festival, where American Fiction played, Michael Giacchino was there, and he did a concert there. He played all his hits. And he played the Batman live orchestra at Middleburg Film Festival.
Oh wow!
And it was unreal. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah. No, but hopefully they'll give you the score again. You can listen to the part 2 score, right?
Yeah. And I will send it to you, Clayton, of course.
We have a good arrangement
as
here. I like
per usual, and we'll reconvene here to listen to it.
You're not going to enjoy that phone call when they call you, man.
And then we'll send some notes back to Michael, in
Michael
case,
will enjoy that.
In case he, not in case, but because, of course, he'll want to hear from you,
we want to make sure that everything works out.
That's exactly right.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Clayton.
That's Oscar-nominated American fiction star Jeffrey Wright. And that's it for this edition of Variety's Award Circuit Podcast. Zach Levin edited this episode, and Michael Schneider is the producer. Be sure to subscribe to the Award Circuit Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you download podcasts. Also, head on over to Variety.com and click on the Awards Circuit tab to find the latest awards predictions and key races, as well as your daily fix of news, analysis, and reviews. For Jazz Tanke, Janelle Riley, and Clayton Davis, I'm Michael Schneider, and we'll see you on the circuit.
This podcast is proudly supported by Netflix presenting Naiad, starring Academy Award and SAG-nominated lead actress Annette Bening and supporting actress Jodie Foster. Awards Daily raves, Annette Bening is a revelation in Naiad, but it's also a testament to her versatility as an actress. She's a chameleon. And Vanity Fair proclaims, Annette Bening delivers a powerhouse performance unlike any in her illustrious career. Naiad, available on Netflix.